Finally, after searching for decades, centuries, millennia, sifting through billions upon billions of sacred texts, otherwise known as manga, and beholding all records in existence of the sages of old, otherwise known as anime, I have come to witness an amazingly astonishing and awesomely astounding piece of artistic expression, so unbound, so unfettered by the norms set by those that came before it, that it could be considered by many to be blasphemous. Burst into the world by the awe-inspiring acuity and singular sagacity of one of the greatest magi the world has ever seen, Naoya Matsumoto, hailing from the land of the dauntless, the daring, and the degenerate, otherwise known as Japan. This monstrous and momentous multitude of mural magnificence dares reach the exceptional excellence and colossal consummation by doing something that no one else ever dared fathom, by having a 32-year-old shonen protagonist. I mean, wow, man. Nice to see some representation up in this bitch. 30s gang, where you at? Wanna see some 30s in the comment section. Hello and welcome back, my filthy weebs. It's your friendly neighborhood degenerate. And today we're talking about Kaiju No. 8, a relatively new shonen manga that's going to be adapted into an anime soon. Despite being relatively new, it has garnered quite a substantial fan base, and the response has been positive for the most part from reviewers and readers alike. And not without good reason. The story follows Kafka Hibino, who lives in a world that is under the constant threat of kaiju, who pop up from time to time and wreak havoc on the citizens of Japan. The only defense mankind has against these monstrous beasts is the Japan Anti-Kaiju Defense Force, a military organization specialized in taking down and neutralizing the kaiju. After his hometown is destroyed in a kaiju attack, Kafka and his childhood friend Mina Ashiro promise each other to join the defense force and take down every kaiju threat. Fast forward a couple of decades, and Mina, keeping the promise, has become one of the strongest captains in the defense force, dedicating all of herself to kaiju fighting. Meanwhile, Kafka works at Monster Sweeper Inc., which is a kaiju disposal company that cleans up monstrous corpses left behind by the big boys. That's the biggest L I've seen in a long time, because it's relatable. Yeah. Ridden by guilt over not keeping his promise, Kafka once again finds the motivation to enlist despite being past his prime. However, before he can do it, a strange kaiju appears in front of him and face rape aliens his way into his body, but instead of bursting out of his chest, it gives him the ability to transform into a kaiju at will. From that point on, Kafka has to balance his life as a trooper, trying to fit into a unit composed of much younger and much more talented soldiers while trying to keep his ability to transform into a kaiju a secret, fearing that once discovered, he will be subjected to rigorous and ruthless experimentation, or worse, death, all the while trying his best to become a soldier worthy of standing next to the woman he loves and admires. Kaiju No. 8 is a brilliant shonen with a lot of potential to become something remarkable. It has been compared to Attack on Titan more frequently than you'd think, and it's easy to see why. They both feature humanity at war with giant creatures, a specialized military organization fighting to eliminate them, and the main character suddenly gaining the ability to transform into one of these creatures. But that's where the similarities end, and when you think about it, they're kind of superficial. Thematically and tonally, the two couldn't be more different. Compared with Attack on Titan, Kaiju No. 8 is much more lighthearted with a penchant for comedy, and is generally a lot more optimistic, just like any typical shonen, albeit a very, very good one. The world of Kaiju No. 8 feels real and fleshed out. It's not as unique as that of Attack on Titan, but it does its job. The mechanics are explained well and in detail, which then leads to a solid world building. Similarly, the overarching plot is nothing special. It doesn't reinvent or revolutionize the shonen genre, but it does present you with a healthy dose of mysteries and questions to hook you in, and the unpredictable nature of the story had me second guessing every step of the way. Add to that some well-crafted and explosive action sequences, and you have all the right ingredients to craft a compelling story. All that is, of course, presented through a very beautiful and appealing art style that is clean, fluid, and retains its quality throughout the run of the manga. This is where Kaiju No. 8 absolutely shines, and it has an important role in hooking you in from the start. The biggest hook of this anime, however, is the 32-year-old deadbeat protagonist. At least for me it is, because as a 32-year-old underachiever myself, I can relate to that. From the get-go, Kafka is a very likable character. He is smart, friendly, good-natured, and funny, and he doesn't use his newfound power to suddenly become a super badass who is awesome at everything he does. He makes it into the force on his own ability, and the manga makes it so that there are always risks associated with his transformation. He barely scrapes through the exam as a normal human and fights tooth and nail to catch up to his very capable peers. Kafka is supported by a versatile cast of characters with a lot of variety, color, and life to them. They're all very human and have realistic goals, troubles, and flaws that everyone can relate to. Lino Ichikawa is Kafka's junior from Monster Sweeper Inc. He's a certified genius when it comes to battle prowess and always keeps pushing and puts himself in harm's way so that his friend wouldn't need to risk transformation in battle. Kikoru Shinomiya is the 16-year-old daughter of two of the strongest soldiers in the defense force. She's a prodigy with the weight of a lot of expectations on her shoulders, which she more than lives up to in order to get the approval of her father. Along with Lino, she is the closest to Kafka, and their developing father-daughter-esque relationship is something that I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. Although we don't get to see a lot of Mina Ashido interacting with the rest of the cast, from what we do, we can see that she is a resourceful soldier and a capable leader. She is quiet, smart, and composed, and never shows any kind of bias towards Kafka or any other character for that matter. And even though she's not swooning and blushing every time Kafka walks into the room, she does show in very subtle ways that she still loves and cares for Kafka a lot, and is happy that he's keeping his promise to her, which is a breath of fresh air because subtlety is not something that shonens are best known for. The women in general in Kaiju No. 8 are not sexualized in the least, and some of them are a lot stronger than their male counterparts, which is a notion that sounds ridiculous in the real world, but in a fictional world where soldiers wear power suits made of kaiju muscle fibers, the strength of which depends on the person's aptitude for synchronization with the suit, it totally works. All in all, Kaiju No. 8 is a solid shonen manga with both spectacle and substance, a versatile and colorful cast of characters, solid world building, explosive action sequences, and a fair share of mysteries to keep you wanting more. There's not much information about the anime as of yet, but if it gets the adaptation that it deserves, it has the potential to become maybe not as big and sensational as Attack on Titan, but a great fucking shonen that can stand on its own in an ocean of similar shows. Congratulations, you filthy fucking bastards, for making it to the end of the video. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe, ring the bell thingy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.